Thank you so much for being here today for this yin class. So we're going to begin together, just finding a comfortable place to sit. And some of you I can see, some of you I cannot see, but I can feel you all here in spirit. So we're going to begin just by orienting ourselves to the space. I love to do this because the mind can be so slippery and it can get us so distracted. And just looking around to gather your energy into the space that you're sitting can be very helpful. So just take a moment to do that here. And notice how your body is being breathed. You don't have to think about that. Yeah, and just move and wiggle around a little bit if you need to. I see Angela getting her body ready. We're just getting the temple, the body ready to receive this breath, movement, presence. And before we start our practice today, we're going to take our right hand, and I want you to just bring your attention to your right palm, make a little a pocket for it, and we're going to bring any challenge that we have. Maybe there's more than one, you can toss them in there. So we're intentionally saying, I don't know how to fix this. It's beyond my control. And I'm willing to, just for right now, I'm willing to put it here and to let it go into my heart space, into that innermost part of our soul, I guess you could say, and then dropping it at the feet of presence of God. And so allow that challenge to be there. And then gently bring it right into your heart space. And then let your left palm come over the top, just to seal that in. And we're dropping it so deeply into that cave of the heart that we do not, once we drop it, once we let it go, we can trust the process. We can have faith that that challenge is being worked out. Maybe it changes altogether, or maybe we change so that we can experience the fullness of God's presence really beyond what comes and goes or what troubles us. This is the mudra of divine refuge. And maybe you personally don't, feel like there's a big challenge, but there's someone that you love who's being challenged. You can bring them into this heart space as well. Having laid that challenge at the altar of your heart, let's take a breath in together. Exhale, let it go. And allow your hands to release. Good. And as we make our way into our first asana today, before we do that, I'd like for you to connect a little bit more with the space of your shoulders. And so just take a moment to rock in from side to side, and you're in your own space. And so it doesn't matter what this looks like. It's, nature is very natural and organic, and our bodies are nature. And so just feel around in there and see, where is there more congestion or more tightness or more restriction in your body? On your left shoulder, or is it hanging out more on your right shoulder? Is it down at the bottom of your heart, or is it a little higher up and toward the upper part of your shoulders? Just take a moment to tune into that and meet it in the moment. It's very fresh. It's not, even if you practiced with me last hour, this is brand new. You're looking again. And so when you find where you want to work, where you want to be, you're going to take your tennis ball. So for today, 2 blocks, a blanket, a bolster, and a tennis ball, or in my case, I have a lacrosse ball, just a little bit harder. So I'm going to take the ball. For me, it's going to be right shoulder, and so it's going to be more toward the bottom. Okay, so for you, go into your spot, and as soon as we all land, and I can see that some of you are there, I'm going to go ahead and hit my timer, and we'll be here for 3 minutes. And as you're breathing here into that area, can you observe the space between your breaths, the gap between your inhale and your exhale? And what a privilege to be able to breathe into these tight areas, to know that we can bring our attention into them, and in doing so, we change the experience. We transform the experience just with breath and attention. And always, always divine guidance, divine support. One more minute here, everyone. Slowly remove your tennis ball. Let that same leg fall open, or just kind of extend, and then let your same palm open. Tuning to presence here. And slowly let's move to the other side. Now it might require that you check in because you can't, don't just assume that it's the same thing on the other side. Take a second at least to sort of look and sense and feel. And then once you have where you need to go on the other side, you can go there. I've even gone to the same side twice. So there's certainly no right or wrong. I do want you to check in though. All right, now find your way into the side. And we'll breathe here for 3 minutes. Meet whatever is there with open heart, breath, and again, notice the space or the gap between your inhalation and your exhale. Move the weight of your body down to the floor, relaxing through your feet, eyes, your shoulders. Last few seconds, everyone. Remove the tennis ball and sit that to the side. Let that same leg stretch out. Let your palm open. Good. And then slowly bend both your knees. Let your palms open to the side and shimmy forward and back. Allowing your head to nod yes and your hips to undulate a little bit. This is a very passive movement though. We're just pressing through the soles of our feet and then letting the body rebound forward. Eventually come to stillness. And then take your arms up toward the ceiling. Reach your fingers enthusiastically up toward the ceiling. And then on your inhale, you're going to pull your right arm away from the floor, like it's reaching past the clouds. And then exhale, lower that down. Inhale, reach the left. And exhale, lower. Stay equally present with each side. You may find that one side of your body is stronger than the other. Just a couple more here. So you just treat both sides as equal, even if one side feels a little bit more challenged. You may hang out a little more there. And then let that go. Let your elbows bend, let your hands rest on either side of your rib cage. Take a breath. And then let's release it. Good. Now both arms come back up. And then from here, we're just going to press the back of the head into the floor gently as we reach those fingers up. Shoulder blades are retracting away from the floor. Rolling up away. And then on your exhale, press the shoulder blades back down to the earth. And then we reach. And then lower. 3 more times, please. And you'll feel your core engage a little bit as you do this. One more good lift, reaching up, shoulder blades move away from each other, and then exhale over down. All right, let your hands come back to the ribs. Another big deliberate inhale. And release that. Good, last little bit. Let your legs stretch out. Arms up overhead. And then from here, I'm going to encourage you to kind of walk your feet past the end of your mat, because sometimes these mats, obviously they're sticky so we can stay on them, but we want to be able to glide the feet a little bit. So arms up overhead. Now, just as if you're kind of like you have a rope in your right hand, you're going to pull the arm up like you're grabbing the rope, and then you're going to pull it back down and move to the other side. And so it's almost like you're climbing upward. And you're shifting those hips gently as you reach those arms. So you're pushing the right leg long as you reach the right arm. Pushing the left as you reach the left. And just take a second to pause on any side that feels a little bit like it needs more strength, more assistance, more help. And then back through center. Widen the feet to the edges of our mats here. And windshield wiper those legs. Side to side. And just feel how the ribs glide and shift the contents of the belly as you drop in. Good. Now the next time your knees are dropping over to the right side, and keep your hands on your ribs and take your right ankle to your left knee. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's take a couple more breaths. All right, release the right foot down. Inhale through the center, drop knees over to the left. If it's available, left ankle to the outside of your right knee. Breathe here. Letting the breath fill your belly. One more good breath here. Release the left foot down. Bring your knees back to center. Turn the toes in and let your knees drop together. Come into that spaciousness of presence. All right, stay centered in your heart as you start to move. Stay super connected. We're going to come all the way up, and we're going to make our way into a butterfly. So take a blanket underneath your bottom if you need it. Have a block close if you want to rest your head on the block. All right, let's rock into this. And just remember, this is a new body today. There's no time that we ever come to our yoga mats where we're not working with something that has changed tremendously from day to day, from minute to minute. So the body's always new. And so we want to meet it with the freshness, with the newness. And we'll breathe here together for 3 minutes. And remember that you have placed whatever challenge deep in the heart. And just let go. Final 20 seconds here. Allow your inhale to bring your torso back up. And lift up through your sternum, maybe roll the shoulders down your back a few times. All right, from here, you want to make this transition in your own time because this is quite a change from what we just did. So we just went into a rounded place. Now we're going to go into more of a back bend. So you may need to take a little intermission here, like just give your tail a little rock from side to side or curl under and arch, just a little cat cow maybe some circles, just whatever feels natural for you. Because we're asking the spine to move in a whole different way here. Okay, from here, once you feel like you've allowed your body to acclimate, you're going to come down onto your belly. And it might be appropriate to just, again, do a little rock from side to side. Breathe into your belly. And just letting go of your concerns, letting go of any tensions, any stressors. And then once you're ready, you're going to come onto your elbows. We'll come into Sphinx. You're welcome to have a block underneath your head, or just simply gaze forward. Soften your gaze if you're looking forward. Relax the senses. Less than 1 minute here. And some of you may want to come into seal, just move those arms towards straight, lifting your chest up even more. For others, you may be ready to come down. Either way is good. You're just listening. You're not attached one way or another. Okay, super slow. Now widen the elbows if you're elevated. And rest your forehead on the back of your hands. Bend the knees and let your legs fall in a circle. Reverse. And tuck your toes under, bring hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale here, and on your exhale, we're going to slowly move back to rocket cat. So I'm just putting the belly right on the thighs, and then I'm going to flex my wrists real good. Spread those fingers. Sigh the breath out. Maybe even stick your tongue out if you want. And then we're going to rest in extended child's pose. Okay, let your inhale bring you up very slowly. Now we're going to move into our lunge for today. So I promised y'all we were going to do this today. So we're going to take our blankets onto mat, a couple of blocks. Step your right foot forward. And just do a little check-in. You can go back as you inhale, and as you exhale, move forward. Making sure your knees got all the support that it needs. And then eventually find your way into your favorite low lunge. You can keep your hands on the block. You can keep your toes tucked, or you can press the top of your foot down. Yoga is about connecting, and so unifying breath, body, intention, prayer. And it's also about connecting to our intuition, our inner teacher, our inner guide. We're halfway through the shake. If you need to back out, please do so. You can always drop back in. Soften through those shoulders. Breathe in this shape. 5 seconds left. Slowly lift your back knee. You're going to step your left foot forward. Just a smidge, enough to be able to place the foot down on the floor. Pull your right hip back. And then drape over that right leg. From here, you can place your left knee back down to the floor, sweep your right leg back, and either come back to child's pose or come to sit on your heels. If you want, you can come back to our mudra if you're seated. Release the hands. And if you're in child's, come on up. We'll move to the left side. And just take a little movement forward and back. Eventually you'll be ready to land in your shape. And engage your body and your breath. Feel an openness in the mouth and the jaw just to help with releasing any tension. Softening those shoulders here, everyone. Resting in the eyes and in the jaw. Final 30 seconds. Okay, you're going to track back just enough to be able to tuck your toes under on the right, and then pop that leg forward. Move the left leg towards straight, and then just folding over that left leg. Inhale slowly, lift up, and you're going to drop that right knee back down. Sit back on your heels or come into an easy pose or even a child's pose. If you're seated, you might come to this mudra. Allow your hands to come down. And then from here, we are going to meet our bolster. So you'll place the bolster on the middle of your mat there. So you can still have your head on the mat. And just come up onto your bolster and then rock back. And just give a little rock from side to side here. That should feel good after that lunge. Okay, legs up, knit them together, let them act as one unit now. And then you can either hold on to the little straps or you can just let your palms open. But we're going to circle the legs. And just imagine that you've got a crayons on the bottoms of your feet. You just kind of paint in the sky, color in the sky, and then reverse that. All right, and then let the legs part a little bit and just kind of let your feet move and your breath sigh out. And just hang out in space. We all have a different probably experience of this, but there's a place where it feels almost like you're just floating. See if you can find that. And just get a feeling of like having a sandbag on your low belly. Just grounding you down through the hips. So every day I recommend having your legs or your feet higher than your heart. It's very good for the heart, good for circulation, good for depression, anxiety. Slowly begin to bend your knees. And let the legs get heavy and slowly, slowly, slowly bring them down to the earth. Just take a moment to land there. All right, from here, engage your core, draw your knees in toward your chest. And now you can hold on to the hooks, if you have hooks on the side of your bolster or string, or you can just push up. We're pushing up into
a modified shoulder stand. This is not a major reaching up through the legs, but it's kind of passive to bring our attention to the heart space. You're holding onto that kidney area. And then very, very mindfully start to hinge. You can reach out towards your ankles and let your spine return to that bolster. And then as soon as your feet land, lift up and remove the bolster for just a moment. Let your knees drop together, toes in. All right. Next, we'll take our bolster above the head. And if you can, place your hands under the bolster. Let your legs stretch out. This is a really big stretch. Now, you can stay here. You don't have to do the side opener that we're going for next. You could stay right here and get such a benefit from this. But if it's available and it's okay for your body today, you're gonna walk your head and your shoulders over toward the right. And then just drop in. You might also like to take your legs over to the right. And you're going to discern that. We're just going to be here for today for about 2 minutes. Last 15 seconds, everyone. Really make these few breaths that you're holding in the shape count. Last few breaths. We're energizing the whole left side of the body. And then very gradually, you're going to move your body back to center. Back to where you started. If you need a little breather with your shoulders, bring your arms down or just rest them on top of your bolster. All right, we're going to slide the hands under and move to the left. Just walking the upper body and then maybe letting the legs walk over toward the left as well. And here we go, 2 minutes. And this will be the last shape before we settle into our Shavasana. Just take a moment to appreciate your breath, your lungs, all of the systems of your body that are working to support you in this moment, to your being here. And gratitude is a direct pathway to discovering presence. Final 15 seconds here. Gently and so connected with your body, come back through center. Let your knees bend. I like to turn my feet in, toes in, knees together, and just rest your arms on top of the bolster. Slowly let your arms come down. Just maybe a couple breaths here in line release, or maybe even with the mudra once again. Just constantly just reminding ourselves, return to the heart, return to the heart, return to presence. In your own time, make your way to Shavasana.
As always, make sure that you move slowly as you start to come back up. And then once you found your way to seated, go ahead and take your hand back, your mudra, and just we'll meet here. And together, let's breathe in and out. Closing with Om. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God is always watching over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Namaste.